but one of the subjects I teach is AP African American Studies.
Can I be honest? I feel like history is a thing of the past.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Sorry, man. Just my dad jokes. Sorry.
Oh, that was a joke. Got it.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
I'll cut that out.
That was no. Keep that in.
Yeah.
Growing community, one conversation at a time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brick by Brick. I'm your host, Brad Critchfield, and we are the podcast that builds community one conversation at a time, brick by brick. Today I have a very special guest, Diego Garcia-Salas.
Oh, I like that. City
Commissioner and high school teacher. We've talked about having you come in and have this conversation for a long time, so I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great. I've known you for probably a year and a half.
Yeah, since the last election cycle, I think.
Yeah, and I actually met you at City Hall the day I got appointed onto the Planning Commission.
That's right.
So it's been great. It's awesome getting to know everybody in the city, getting to know you, David, Jeff, everybody. And I'm just happy to be a part of it, really.
Did you have plans on getting involved in the city before? I know we have a mutual friend, Jeff Wood, city council member, great guy. I know you kind of got involved with him with his campaign, and now as his commissioner. But how did you get wrapped up in all this?
Yeah, so really it goes back to when I graduated high school in 2017. I knew his family a little bit. I wasn't super close to them, but I kept in touch volunteering on the Pan American Association.
Okay.
The fireworks booth every July. And I knew he was running for re-election in 2024. So he asked for help, and I was more than willing to help him. And really, I had no idea I would get involved this young, at all.
Well, tell everybody how old you are.
I'm 26.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm 26. But at the time, I was like 24.
Okay.
So it's been great. When he offered me the position on the Planning Commission, I didn't know what a Planning Commission did. I didn't know that Lakewood had a Planning Commission. I didn't know that we had 3 commissions total. Right. So it was a learning process.
Yeah, and Planning Commission's the big one.
It is. It's the only one required by law.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a public safety commissioner. And then we also have the Parks and Recs Commission. Sure. But Planning Commission, that's the big one. You guys get a lot of big items, very impactful in the things you discuss and decide on. How do you like being on the commission?
It's great. Thursday, we just had our last meeting, and I was made vice chair.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, thank you. And it's great. We look at the general plan for the city that hasn't been updated since the 90s. We look at permits, business permits, what types of new businesses are opening up in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a Dutch Bros. I'm not sure if you heard about that. But it's pretty great getting the inside scoop on what's happening.
Yeah, I remember my first introduction to the Planning Commission was when I opened up my gym in Lakewood. It was over in the industrial area by Cherry and Carson, and we had to file for a CUP, a conditional use permit. So we had to. It was a big deal, man. Me and my partners that were opening the gym, I just like them weren't really used to that vibe of we have to go present at a meeting. Mm-hmm. So we came suited and booted. We were just super, super professional, and we had to say, hey, I know this building isn't meant for it, but this is the value, and it was a big deal. But that was my first introduction to Planning Commission. You guys get a lot of CUP and different permits for new businesses?
Almost every meeting, all the time. Yeah. Did they ask you what is your business about and a little bit about you? Yeah. That's
the main thing was the parking, right?
Yeah.
So okay, you want to use this building for this, but there's only 4 parking spots.
Yeah.
How are we going to do that? Yeah. So there's a lot of those things, but. No, it's a big deal, man. Planning Commission.
Yeah, I mean, we look at things that, so I think most of what impacts people's lives are going to be at a state and local level, right? Especially local level. So when you take something like the Planning Commission, we obviously approve, whatever businesses you're going to see around your house, next to your schools, local schools, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge advocate for the more local control, the better. That's my libertarian instincts.
Yeah.
The further you get away from your community, the more inefficiencies and the less, in touch you are with the community that you're serving.
I agree.
There's obviously reasons why that varies issue by issue, but there's a lot of things that happen at the local level that's important that it stays there.
Yeah, for sure.
So what have you learned about just the city in general since you've been involved in the past couple of years?
So when I moved to Lakewood in 2012, like I said, I was 13, but I had no idea that we had commissions or anything like that. So I think the biggest thing for me is learning that, oh, okay, so we have a city council, right? We have these commissions that are, I guess, under the city council, and then we have 3, and then there's levels, and then there's the directors for every commission, and this and that. So I think for me, it's being able to learn that, okay, there's people behind the scenes that are doing things that you don't see their faces on TV, you don't see their faces at city events even, right? They're behind the scenes. So I think for me, that's the biggest thing that I've learned.
Yeah, the staff runs
Yeah.
everything. Like commissions are important. City council has a huge role, but one thing I've learned is just being an elected official myself with the school district is like there's certain things that the board can do, should and is supposed to do, and there's things that the board or council should not do. And a lot of, like from the board perspective, it's about having vision, budget oversight, and holding staff accountable to implementing the vision. And those are the things. But where I see a lot of people go astray, and this is a credit to say Lakewood in general, they do this so well because they have such an amazing staff between Thaddeus and Paulo and the directors. Like they do a really good job of making the council's job, they make it easy for them because they're capable, they're on the ball, they handle things. But I've seen in other cities, in other school boards, quite frankly, where the board will kind of overstep or like get into the weeds on things, and they seek more control than what the role really should be about. And it makes things more difficult. But having a good staff is...
And communication too.
Yeah.
It's so easy to contact people in the city. Like I can't emphasize that enough, right? That's huge.
Yeah. Between like the Lakewood app and how responsive the city staff is. I mean, they do a really good job.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you live in a city and you have the experiences like we have, like where like you only know, you don't know as much about any other city as you do about Lakewood, but I think it's something I've learned to like not take it for granted. I think it's a really special place because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in have you lived in Lakewood your whole life?
I lived in Long Beach, which I thought was Lakewood because I was like at Lakewood High, but it's like literally Delamo and Bellflower. So it's, it's Long Beach kind of. And then I lived in Bellflower for 5 years, but this is the first place I bought a home.
Okay.
I always knew I was going to live in Lakewood. It was just a matter of like being able to afford it,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a journey.
It is.
It's great. So you bought a home in Lakewood?
I've not yet.
Okay.
I've not yet bought a home yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is in the books.
Yeah.
That is a plan.
Nice.
So right now it's a little tough.
For sure.
Dude,
it's crazy.
It is astronomically crazy.
Dude, I wasn't able to afford a home until, how old am I? Like 34. Yeah. Like it's not like back in the good old days, where people would, buy homes a lot younger, start families younger. It's just a different beast now.
It is. So I have a crazy stat for you.
Sure.
Okay, so in 2008, right, the average age of a first-time home buyer was 30.
Okay.
Right? Now, 38.
Yeah.
That's the world we're living in.
Yeah.
Right? It's tough.
No, it's tough, and especially depending on which area you want to move into, depending on the age of the demographic, obviously home prices, the market in general, but it's definitely harder to get your foot in the door. There's a story on the news about just generational wealth and but it was basically saying like how people like don't just like the idea in the past of like you just save up and you buy a house and it's like a solo mission. That's kind of in the past. Like there was a stat, and I'm not going to pretend to like remember because I really don't. But it was some big percentage, like they don't buy a house without somebody helping with the down payment or a dad co-signing or finding a property that was already kind of like in the mix with the family. You really have to like kind of you have to really figure it out with your support and resources with your family. It's not, you don't just save on the regular salary now and
Yeah, for
buy a
sure.
house.
I mean, the average price of a home in Lakewood's like north of $1 million.
Is it?
I think it just passed.
Wow.
Or it's at $1 million. So
Wow.
if you're gonna put a 20%, down payment, you might need somebody to put
Yeah.
the other 10%.
I mean,
Yeah.
$200,000. Who's saving that? That's
Well,
that's
it's
uh.
tough. And then trying to raise a family and trying to just have a normal life,
Yeah.
it can be rough.
Yeah, and with me, like, so I'm the sole income of the house. That's even its own struggle, right? And that's why a lot of parents, a lot of folks, like, both have to be, full-time employed, which makes starting the family harder. So they push it off more. And I think that's where you see the demographic in our city, changing, where people don't have kids till later because it's hard to get financially stable in a home until then.
Yeah.
What about you? You married?
I'm not married. No.
Okay.
I'm actually
Okay.
single right now.
All right, you hear that, ladies? Single and looking.
That's why I came on the podcast.
Yeah. Now, welcome to the Brick by Brick dating show.
There you go.
Nah, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
But you're so young, dude. Like,
Yeah.
So what do you do outside of the local Lakewood politics scene?
Yeah, so my full-time job, I'm a teacher, right? I teach at Narbonne High School in Harbor City. I love it. I'm starting my 4th year on Thursday. I'm
Okay,
excited.
nice.
Yeah, so it's great. I was originally going to be a lawyer when I was in college, and I was like, that was always a dream. That was always a goal. But I just saw myself being a teacher. It just fits my personality better. I like showing people new ideas. I like the look on their faces when I tell them of a topic in history or government. They're just they're fixated on my eyes because they've never heard this before, and to me, I know it already.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
What grade?
Mostly seniors.
Okay, high school seniors.
Yeah, high school
Wait,
seniors.
What kind of stuff they learn in high school senior years these days?
Oh man, so they're required to take government economics, right?
Mhm.
So I try to make that as engaging as possible.
What's the most interesting part of your curriculum or lesson that you feel like the eyes really light up?
We've talked about AI, on how that's kind of it's been used a lot, obviously, in schools, aside from the subject, in the classroom, right? Using AI in the classroom. I think I've used AI in the classroom. There's pros and cons to it.
Sure.
I feel for sure. But I think personally, for me, my opinion is we've reached a point, especially as a teacher, where we need to continue to teach these kids how to critically think, but at the same time incorporate AI. Right? Because I think a lot of what AI is doing is it could do the critically thinking for us. So if teachers like myself, we need to find that balance, right? Don't demonize AI. AI is there to help us. It's here to stay. But at the same time, how can we still help students critically think while at the same time using that tool?
Yeah. I'm on the fence with that. Maybe I can be pushed either way. But does it stop the critical thinking? Because my own anecdotal experience is I find I use it every day. I end up way more invested in thinking about what it is I'm searching because I'm learning at such a fast rate that I feel like I could have looked for an answer, found the answer, say using Google or just ask somebody, but it kind of has that back and forth feel that other information doesn't have, where you're engaging with the information in a way where I'm I didn't even realize I was that interested in what I was asking for, but now I'm I feel like there's more there.
That's a good perspective. I think it also depends if are you interested in the topic, right? Because I doubt a high school senior is interested in learning about the Federalist Papers, right? Unless they are, they were like me, right? So I think it also has to do with, are they interested? But I think AI can definitely make that more interesting.
Yeah, or if you're not interested, asking it to make it interesting for you.
That's true.
Right? Say hey, maybe you're into film. You're make a screenplay with just the facts of the Federalist Papers and let me read the screenplay, and you type in the prompt, the goal is to teach me, X, Y, and Z for my assignment. So now you're reading this screenplay that you would never be able to do before. And it's just you're interested because you're maybe you like screenplays, or you like cartoons and you go to Midjourney and you create a film strip and you go, I don't know, man. I just feel to your point, it's how we use it. We can really engage students and engage minds by using these tools that we could not have done before.
Yeah, I mean that's a good, sounds like an assignment, right?
Yeah.
Have AI create a clip of whatever, right? That's it's creativity.
But that's the hard part, right? That's the scary part because, I talk with a lot of teachers, and I'd say the majority, not the vast majority, but the majority are, open to using AI and learning. But I know like that, whether it's an age thing or just like how much time you've been in, how kind of concrete your lesson plans are over time. It's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if you really just look at the possibilities, man, like it can change the way we teach.
I agree.
And it doesn't come without struggle though. But it's a lot of the same struggle that, when Google came out, it was like kids aren't going to be able to learn. They're just going to ask for the answer.
Yeah.
They're going to, it's very similar. And you can go back to the calculator. Oh, the calculator, they're going to not learn math. Now it's like,
Or when the TV came out,
Yeah.
oh, they're not going to go outside,
yeah, that was a crock of shit, right? They were like, you sit too close, you're gonna, you burn your eyes, and you're
Yeah.
gonna. But now we have like
Yeah.
I bought the Apple VRs. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
that's pretty close to my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that? I've never tried that.
Oh, it's a trip.
So you just put it on and it literally looks like.
Yeah. So I bought it like the first day it came out, and
Uh-huh.
it was like $5,000 or something.
Wow.
And then I returned it like 10 days later. The reason, like on the last day I could return it.
Got it.
And the reason, because it was too good, but it was so, it's infantile, stage. You're stuck in it, right?
Okay.
And not that many people have it. It's not like the Meta Quest or like other technologies where you can like, really do it cooperatively.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of creepy, like Black Mirror style, where you're just like, dude, I've been in this for like 5 hours just doing work, like with all your screens up, but you feel very alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like but like with Meta, how they've done with their VR, it's much more open sourced, and you can like, it's less like sucked in like that.
Okay.
But the next rendition of it, like I'm telling you, like they keep that same level of like tech in there, and it's gonna be crazy.
Never tried it. I want to try it out.
Dude, I had my friend assembly member Jose Salache.
Oh yeah.
He came in here, and I had him put it on, and it was hilarious. It was like a Jurassic Park type thing,
Uh-huh.
and he loved it. But not a lot of people have, because the price point is just so high.
Yeah. Got to make it more accessible to people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that'll happen. And also it's big. The battery is like a secondary thing, but they'll get there. But I love that stuff. And we talk about it so much in like school board, like with our unions. How do we really use tech? And there's always the hurdles, but man, it's, if you use it right, dude, there's so many creative things you could do to like really get to students that may otherwise, not get reached.
Yeah, we had a counselor maybe like 3 years ago at Narbonne High School, and he introduced the idea of using these, virtual, what do you call them again?
VR.
Just VR little, tools in the classroom, but they get pricey.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, funding and all that stuff. So, the idea kind of died after he retired, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's there.
But
There's
you need
potential.
those people, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where, like, I see it on campus. I'm always looking out for, like, who are those teachers that are, like, they have something that they want. And there's a lot of reasons why they don't push. Sometimes it's, like, they don't want to be, like, the person pushing for something. Or if the site or the district has, like, a tendency to, like, not do the thing that you're pushing for, people don't want to waste their energy. But, there's always, like, one or two on every campus I go where, like, like, they have something they want to do.
Yeah.
And it, like, there has to be funding for those things. And using, like, so we do a lot with, like, our ESSER funds and, like, different funds where you can actually pay teachers overtime after school to, like, teach something that they are passionate about. And I did a tour in San Diego where we went to 5 different model schools down there just to see what they had to bring it back to our district. And every one of them, the common theme was the ones that were doing well, they paid their own teachers to teach passion subjects after school. And those are the schools that were doing really well. it's a no-brainer, man. When you're passionate about something, that's what makes a good teacher a good teacher.
Yeah.
You know, like it's huge. So if someone's into podcasting or VR
Yeah.
or anything, art, let them teach their kids, you know, because a lot of the money just goes to like different after-school programs, you know, in different curriculum, that it's not the person they have connections with that can really share the passion.
That's what makes me love teaching so much. It's like it's me. I love teaching, but I love the subject that I teach, right? So I think that for me, like for example, one of the subjects I teach is AP African American Studies. It's
Can I be honest? I feel like history is a thing of the past.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Sorry, man. Just my dad jokes. Sorry.
Dad- oh, that was a joke. Got it.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
I'll cut that out.
That was no. Keep that in.
Get it? It's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry.
I didn't come with my dad jokes.
Yeah,
today.
I'm sorry, dude. It gets ingrained in you.
I thought you were serious.
It's a thing of the past.
I know you love history.
That math stuff doesn't add up either.
You have any more? You want to get out?
Dude, I don't
Do you have
think
any
so.
English ones?
But I'll cut them all out.
Yeah. No. Keep that in there.
No, I love history too.
Okay.
But why do you love it?
I love it because the more you learn history, the more you can see that human beings have done the same thing. It's only cyclical,
Yeah.
right?
Damn.
I don't want to say the word repeats. That sounds cliche. Everybody says that history repeats itself, but I would say it's cyclical.
Yeah. It looks different.
It looks different. It's new faces.
What do you think? What's the biggest one where you feel like your perspective, being somebody who knows a ton about history and already have that idea that like things are cyclical? What's one thing that you feel like you see happening, and like it's like the Matrix, kind of like you see it, but like other people, you know, mostly don't.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, you take a look at world history. All right. I just watched this movie the other day on Apple TV, Napoleon Bonaparte. It came out like last year. I'm not sure if you watched it.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Which is super weird because I love Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin?
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't use an accent. And everyone just is okay with it. But I'm like, he's just speaking as Joaquin Phoenix. But anyway, sorry.
So I'm
hard.
glad you brought that up because
It's a good movie, though.
It is a good movie, but one of my criticisms is that, I mean, obviously he's French, right? In the movies, you know, Napoleon Bonaparte's French. Everybody's French.
It's supposed to be shorter too, right?
Oh, it was a long movie.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody.
Napoleon.
Oh yeah, he was actually.
But it was a super long movie too.
It was a super long movie, and the director's cut was like 45 minutes longer than the original movie. It was a super long movie. But everybody that was supposed to be French had an English accent.
Yeah.
And as a person who likes history, like at least I know they're not going to speak French because we're the audience, right? Speak English, that's fine, but
like
at least make it somewhat.
I'm the same way.
Right.
I mean, I was a poli-sci major at Cal State. You went to Cal State too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go Beach.
Go Beach.
But they, like those things, they trip me up. As both somebody who loves film, and I'm like a continuity person.
Yeah.
My wife hates it because I'm like, push pause. You see how the watch was on the left hand now?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't care. I'm like, I
No,
do.
yeah.
I'm like, we can't watch the rest of it. It's
or the
terrible.
hair, like the hair.
Yeah. But same thing with like accents or just things that are not historically like, I'm not a stickler.
Yeah.
But it does kind of pull you out of it a little bit.
It does pull you out of it, and like I like history, so I can kind of see when something's not all that accurate or there.
Yeah.
But to the common person who does not have a degree in history or whatever, right?
Right.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
They're movies. They're made to entertain us.
But they also and I know that one too. It's not. There's some factual stuff, but there were things in that movie. I think I saw an interview with the director or something. They had to like kind of not be as accurate to fit the script.
That's true. My professor hated the movie.
Yeah.
He flat out hated
for
it.
that reason.
He saw a lot of inaccuracies. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just did not like the movie
Yeah.
for what it was.
All right. So before the ADHD detour, so like the main cyclical thing that you kind of see that maybe other people don't, just from your knowledge of like history, like you kind of see history kind of repeating itself. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, you can take a look at, so I brought up Napoleon Bonaparte because I watched the movie a couple of days ago, but more importantly, that happened in the late 18th century, early 19th century, and you can kind of tell as a person who studies history, it's like different faces, different weapons, different locations, but same ideas, right? So that's why I say history is cyclical, right? It comes in waves. What Napoleon did through Europe, he built an empire, right? And that was in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And then you fast forward, about a century, Germany tried to do the same thing, right? So it's cyclical.
Right.
It really is.
What do you think is the biggest difference between, say, when Napoleon did it and when Hitler did it?
Oh, I mean, the amount of, for the technology.
Right.
I mean, it brought so much destruction.
Right.
It's pretty crazy how much technology has helped mankind fight each other.
It's also created a certain level of deterrent too, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
the stakes are higher.
I agree.
It's, you don't, they talk about all the time, even when we're talking about international conflict of, don't worry, we won't put boots on the ground. But it's kind of a facade, right? Because the more we go, the less we need boots on the ground to really achieve the same level of intrusion or conflict that we used to have.
There's no need to put boots on the ground.
Right.
Like if you think about it.
Yeah, but now when you do, it's like that. It's a huge. It's like you don't turn back from that very easily. We're seeing it in Ukraine.
We've gotten so small as a world. Like everything's so connected, right? So globalized that we all affect each other.
Right.
Versus 200-300 years ago.
And we're seeing it every day, right?
Yeah.
It's like even with the current administration, with wanting to create secondary tariffs based on, okay, so you're doing that to that country, so therefore we're living in this world, we're so interconnected that there is no such thing as just like us versus them. It's you create alliances have always been a thing, but now it's more economical warfare. And dude, it's I see the same thing. Even back a little bit further to like the Roman Empire, you see things that were happening then, and you go like, how does that relate to right now? And then when you really zoom out, it's easy when you're born in America to feel like that we're always going to be the greatest, right? But we weren't always the greatest, and we weren't always the most powerful. And if you look at whether it's currency, like who has the world currency, and you see changes, whether it was like the Dutch and then Roman and us. You look at like what China's doing with their currency. You have to know like there's a cycle to all of that.
There is. And
when we look at us as a country, we're still, we're like an older teenager at this point.
Yeah, we're going to be 250 years old next year.
Yeah.
We're young. I tell my students this. You guys think that 250 years is a long time. It's not. A person can live 100 years old. There was this lady that just turned 100 in Lakewood, right? So if you think about it, that's like, if a person could live to 100 years old.
It's like 4 generations.
Yeah. 5. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how close some events have happened.
So I think that's where I think that's why knowledge is so important, right? And a strong grasp of history, because it, one, makes you appreciate the time and place and, what's the word? Like privilege we are in to be here. I think about this now. I forgot who told me a long time ago, but it's just, I'm like, oh, that's a true thing. So I just like always held on to it. But like the average person living in America under the poverty line lives better and more comfortably than a king just a couple hundred years ago. Yeah. So it's like our level of discomfort and life's pleasantries is relative to what we see and what we, know is possible.
Yeah, for the most part, everybody has access to running water and electricity.
AC, indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
Like the most wealthy people 100 years ago. Yeah. We live, everybody we know lives like a king.
Yeah.
But rarely do people walk around with that gratitude of like, I'm in an air-conditioned building right now. I took a dump indoors. This is amazing.
Yeah. I can flush the toilet.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
It really is. Yeah. But it's a human thing to look at what you don't have and strive for more. And sometimes like that is what makes us progress, right? But it's I love history, dude.
Yeah.
History is awesome. I wish I had the memory capacity to remember all the things that I learned. Because poli-sci was basically history with a little bit of argument, for the most part in college. But that's why I like books, because I'm like, all right, you read through it and you're reminded of all those things, but they don't come up very often.
Yeah.
So what's the one thing that when you tell your students, like you feel like there's like that moment, like what's the one lesson that you do where it opens their eyes? For me, in college, we played a game it was like a international war game, and we basically played each other, but it was really eye-opening to just how people in the class reacted as if they were the representatives of their countries, and how it all played out. I thought that was an amazing lesson plan.
Yeah.
Do you have a lesson plan that kind of opens up your students' eyes?
Yeah, so I mean, like, if you're a teacher out there, like something called a Socratic seminar, right? Having students talk. And for me, I'll be honest, I think some of the greatest conversations, academic conversations that I've had with students have been unplanned. Like we're on a certain lesson plan, and then somebody asks a question, and then we just go on this amazing tangent, and everybody gets involved in talking about, for example, a couple years ago, I taught 10th grade world history. And I was introducing World War I, right around there. And I told them, like, look, guys, we're going to get to the point where you're going to start to realize that these events, they're related to today, right? What's happening in Ukraine and Russia, from the Cold War, a little after World War II. And they just started asking questions. Right. And I think for me, like, the best things are unplanned, that's what they say. Right? So the best conversations I've had have been unplanned like that.
That's where a lot of frustration from teachers comes too, is right when you're only teaching to the test, or if you're over testing students, or you're too bogged down in that, where, having the ability to just teach and follow the interest and follow the questions is crazy powerful.
Just have a conversation.
Yeah.
That goes a long way. And then I'm surprised, because I'll have a conversation like that, and 3 months later, they'll tell me, "Oh, Mister, you said that, that day when we were learning that thing." I'm like, "You remember that? That was 3 months ago."
Yeah.
Like, these kids remember stuff. Like, they have good minds.
Yeah.
When they're interested, when they're motivated.
When they're interested.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think most even behavior problems come from a kid not being interested.
Yeah.
And I think that's where frustration from adults comes in, because it's that challenge of how do I get them interested. But I think that really plays to, like, the importance of, like, in the classroom is the most important thing that happens. So much of, like, what gets discussed, like whether at a boardroom or county, state wide, it's rarely like what's actually happening in the classroom, because it's all in your hands, man. That's why teachers are the most important piece of that puzzle. But then a lot of attention gets put on all these other things. I think that's where having a site that works really well, whether it's in PLCs or like teaching communities where you're collaborating, lesson planning, and figuring things out for your specific students, but also like a benefit to like a smaller district where you can really collaborate within your district. Because whether you're in a big district or a small district, the funding is per student, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I think, roughly like $12,000 or $15,000 per year per student.
Okay.
And that's why attendance is so important, because you only get paid when they attend.
Yeah.
But bigger districts, I find, they can be a little further away from like the community. So it's like you have to have like measures to like really make sure the community's heard. Where smaller districts, like with BUSD, I talk to so many people in our district, and that sample size is huge relative to the size. So they have an advocate who's talking about their students, about their classrooms. But bigger districts, that can get lost real quick, and you can get a lot of people that go like, hey, this, we're not on the path to like what this community is like looking for as far as results out of our district.
Well, teachers have, in your district, teachers have, they can talk to you, with a ring up, they can call you.
Yeah.
I can't say that's the same for LAUSD, right? We're so big, but it definitely helps.
Yeah. And there's there's a lot of like funding opportunities for larger school districts. Like I see it all the time. Like you'll have like a regional or state rep come drop off a big check to like fund this special project, and that's great for the students. But that's more common in like the bigger districts. But I don't know. I there's a reason why districts end up getting districted, right? So they have like more of a direct line to their representative. There's a reason why as population grows, you end up with more seats on a board to, hopefully make it easier for people to advocate. But yeah, I don't know. I was in Long Beach Unified because I went to Lakewood High.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man, because when you're in like high school, like you don't know who your board members are.
Yeah, you don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
No, I don't remember any of that stuff. But now I'm like older, and I'm like, oh, it's really important who your representatives are.
It is.
It's like it changes.
Is. Yeah.
What school district are you in?
Where I teach?
Yeah.
LAUSD.
LAUSD? Okay.
Yeah.
What's been your experience there?
It's been great. I think it could be too big at times. So you take LAUSD, it's massive. We're the second largest school district in the country.
Right.
We're huge. And we're actually divided by regions. In case you didn't know that, we're north or south, central, east, west. I'm part of the south region in Harbor City. But if you take a look at each region, it could be its own school district.
Right.
Right. So each region has its own superintendent, and then they, answer to the Carvalho, the biggest of them all, the big fish. So it's pretty interesting coming from teaching at a massive school district.
So do each have their own boards?
They each have, so I forgot the exact title name, but it's a superintendent for each region, and they answer to the biggest, Carvalho, which is the main superintendent.
Really?
Yeah.
But like board wise, is there just one board for LAUSD, or is there?
No, I think there's one board.
One board. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Regional superintendent. That's the term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, didn't you guys just do the cell phone ban?
We did.
How's that working?
We did. Okay, so teachers love it. I'll speak for every teacher out there. We love it. Mostly because it was a distraction.
You guys using the Yonder bags?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, the little pouches where it only opens up with a magnet.
Yeah, I talked to their rep because we looked at our policy when LAUSD was doing theirs, and we surveyed the community, and we're like, all right, we have to do something because I believe it was Lowenthal's bill made it mandatory. Well, it made school boards have to come up with a plan to address the issue by 2026, I believe, or 27. So every district was looking at it. LAUSD went full ban, right, with the Yonder bags. And me personally, totally open to it. Like, very, like, we surveyed students, staff, and teachers. Each one of them very different in how they felt, right? Believe it or not, students didn't want it. Sorry. I mean, teachers, parents, shocked. I know. So was I. But like, so the teachers definitely wanted it. But when I had like the board like pull up, what is our current policy? Let's look at that first. Yeah. Even any policy is only as good as its enforcement.
That is true.
And so like, if our current policy was being actually enforced, the current policy was already like absolutely no phones in the classroom. Like you can have it like at lunch and break. Yeah. But like a lot of the distraction, all that stuff they were talking about was in the classroom. So our board with the survey results decided to not do the full ban right now. And we'd look at it again after a year, this school year. But I mean, I was for it then, and I'll probably be for it, then, in a year from now. But I do think it's important to like, okay, like, so we reemphasize this is our policy and we're holding sites accountable. We can't say this policy doesn't work if we're not doing it. Yeah. So, doing that year, yeah, it's a tough debate, man. Cause I love technology. I love like I'm a contrarian, like in my soul. So I can make an argument for why it's important for kids to
Yeah.
have access to their personal devices. But at the end of the day, man, it's school is a place where it's on us to do the education and reduce distraction and focus on that. When you look at test scores across the state and even in our district, like if the failure to make change or make a decision, indecision is the worst decision, right? So we have to try something.
At the end of the day, it's what's best for the students, and even if they don't know it, it's best for them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It can be a distraction at times,
Mhm.
and if whatever it takes for them to pay attention more in class, honestly.
Right.
Right. So.
And then the argument is like, well, students that don't get distracted by it, that then they're kind of put at a disadvantage because kind of teaching to the back of the classroom as far as like taking away from everybody. So I had so many debates, dude, when this was coming
Sure.
before the board, and I heard all, and some of the arguments were legit, and some of them I'm like, nah, it doesn't fly.
Yeah.
But it's a problem, but like it's a thing for the time we're in right now.
Mhm.
But I guarantee you, 10 years from now, it's going to be a totally different conversation, because even policies, man, they don't keep up with technology, right?
Well, it's
'Cause
like you said, it's how you enforce it.
Right.
You said it perfectly.
So it's gone well.
So we rolled it out in, I want to say, March, and our principal, we were getting a new principal at the time. One left, one came. It was real, messy. But he basically said, look, this is going to be a test trial. March, April, May, half of June. It's going to be, we're going to experiment.
Right.
Right. And it worked well. It worked great. And I think we're heading into this school year. Students, they get their pouch at the beginning of the day. Actually, they keep it. But at the beginning of the day, they walk into the gates. They put the phone in the pouch. They lock it up. Someone sees them locking it up. And basically, when they leave school, it gets unlocked.
So one of the things when I was talking to the Yonder rep, I was like curious about, they had like each pouch, I want to say it was pretty pricey per pouch. If you need to like replace them, I was thinking if kids are breaking them, how do you enforce, like if a student maybe doesn't have the means to replace their pouch, but they did break it, you start charging the parents, and that I just felt like that could get pretty dicey. What's been your experience with that? Has it been a problem at all?
It has. I've seen students try and break the pouch, literally
Yeah.
hit the pouch to try and open it. But I haven't had a lot of experience knowing students that have been forced to pay or lost their pouch that much.
Yeah.
I think it's like between $30 and $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for a school district isn't that much. I mean, if you think like, our district is about 10,000 students ish, $50 a pouch. I'm not gonna pretend to know that number. What is that? 500,000? What?
Could be 500,000.
500,000? Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
But $500,000 to fix a problem like that, huge. But if like $50 to a family that maybe doesn't have means, if like their kid loses or breaks their patch, or if it's stolen, like those, for them it'd be a lot of money. So then you have to have in your policy, what is the policy when that happens? So there's a lot of things that really we're kind of looking at those districts that are experimenting, so we can come up with like the best practices going forward. Again, I was pretty on board with just jumping in, but there is a benefit to holding back and taking the time too.
Yeah, definitely take notes from what LAUSD is doing.
Yeah.
And see. I mean, second largest school district. They're all enforcing it. It seems to be working.
Yeah.
So
That's great. And it'll be interesting to see how test scores change, and, even behavioral, discipline stats that will come out. I mean, you look at like online bullying, a lot of that's happening during school. I mean, think about, I mean, like there was a case, a situation at one point where there was like a bullying thing, and it turned into like a fight issue on campus, and I was like asking questions like how it all came about. But like it made me realize like they got to worry about stuff that like you didn't have to worry about when you're in high school. Like back in the day, it'd be okay, if somebody like said something to you at school, like, okay, it's kind of weird, you know, if you have a class with them, but you can kind of keep your distance and like stay away. But now it's like somebody wants to get at you. You could be in school and you could be getting hit up by, you know, people on social media, like the person's talking trash, but they're right there. It can create a lot of situations where conflict is hard to contain.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Crazy times.
dude, it's nuts. I don't know how kids do it, dude. Like going through high school. I mean, it's hard enough without the cell phone.
It is hard enough. I mean, it goes to show you a different time we're living in.
Yeah.
Than when I graduated in 2017. It feels like a different world.
2017.
Lakewood High School.
Jesus.
Lancer.
You young buck. Go Lancers.
Lake
Now,
Wood.
Diego, when you went to school, how much technology was being implemented when you were a student compared to what you are as a teacher? How much technology are you using today as a teacher compared to what you were as a student? Have you seen a huge jump from that time?
Way more. That's a great question. That's like way more. So I was a senior and we were issued laptops, little Chromebooks, but we couldn't keep them, right? And it was for like one class. Right. Nowadays, I mean, I know at my school, every student has a Chromebook they could take home with them with built-in Wi-Fi. That's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So complete different.
And the investment in that's crazy. Like the having good systems to recover those because I mean what ends up happening is like, and this happened with my kids. My wife was like, what am I supposed to do with like these Chromebooks? They have like 3 of them now. Like what do you, and like making sure like there's a clear communication and policy, because there's a lot of loss. Like from an efficiency angle, like you need to have really good systems, especially when it's sending technology out of the district from a financial responsibility. I mean, more money, more problems, more tech, more problems. But no, it's way different, man. You don't have just like that. I miss the days where they just like, you'd have a sub and they'd just walk that big old cart into your room with the big TV and the VCR. Now that is a special thing.
I get students that tell me, Mister, I prefer paper and pencil, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them want to go back to the OG, just paper, pencil.
Do they still have to learn cursive?
Not my son.
So they stopped, and then now they're starting it again, because these kids can sign their name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, cursive is like becoming the calligraphy. When I was in school, there's always like that one kid who like knew how to do calligraphy. Like, oh, that's lame, even though it was really cool. But it's like a kid like knowing how to do like good cursive is rare.
Yeah. I mean, I was forced. Some of my teachers forced us to write in cursive.
Yeah.
We couldn't write in regular.
Yeah.
So that kind of forced us to write.
Make
Diego,
cursive cool again.
What would be your percentage of how much you do technology compared to pen and paper? Would you have
it's so much easier to grade and collect work when it's submitted electronically. I think when I use paper, I get stacks, then I got 150 students, and it gets messy real quick if you're not an organized person. So I do use Chromebooks and online submissions for now. I have teased around and played around with little paper pencil myself here and there.
Yeah.
But it can get so messy. If you're not an organized teacher, I'm pretty organized, but if you're someone that's not organized, only using paper and pencil, it'll just you'll lose hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Jay?
That was a good question.
Good question, Jay.
No.
A+ for your
coming
question.
from a wife that's a teacher, so.
No, I mean, I get students, like I said, that want to go back to that. They want to break from their eyes a little bit, but they're always on the tablets or whatnot, but they want to go back to pencil and paper, and sometimes I do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'd fail miserably in today's age. Technology is not my thing. Give me a paper, pencil all day long.
I would hate to be in front of a computer all day, personally.
It's funny. That's why I have you back there with all that technology. You're like, I hate this. I just want... Next time I'll set you up where you can do all this with pencil and paper.
I could sketch you. Pen and paper.
Yeah. Just like old courtroom photos, just of us doing it. Let's do a little write-up.
Yeah, the courtroom sketches. Yeah.
So yesterday was a big day. You put a lot of work into how you liking not wearing that lemon head.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So Lakewood Lemonade Day was yesterday. It was a huge success. Our second annual Lemonade Day. Thankfully, I have to give a huge shout out to, of course, our sponsors, but the Lakewood JCs. Right. I'm part of the Lakewood JCs. I'm president. We're a local nonprofit. We've been around for decades, actually.
Give me the elevator pitch.
The
for the
elevator
JCs.
pitch. Oof, the elevator pitch. So basically, we're a local nonprofit, and we want to encourage volunteerism and community engagement. And I would say the most importantly, leadership skills. So you see a lot of these entrepreneurs that were involved in last year's Lemonade Day, this year's Lemonade Day. Some of them have come back to get involved in like the preteen or teen beauty pageant, whatever. They're developing their leadership skills, public speaking.
Yeah.
That's what we want for the city.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we want. I was also part of the Lakewood Leadership Academy. I believe the city of Lakewood has done that 3 years in a row.
Yeah, I remember when that first started up.
Yeah. So I was a part of the second cohort last year, and the JCs want to eventually kind of adopt that as their program, or now the city quarterbacks that. But going back to Lemonade Day, it's great. For those who don't know what it is, basically you have, we had 17, 18 stands this year, 10 stands last year. But for the most part, it's young students, 3rd to 5th grade, who open up a lemonade stand, in Lakewood. You have to be a Lakewood resident. And it teaches them entrepreneurial skills, how to deal with money, food safety, marketing, right? Some of these kids made an Instagram, right? Some of these kids made their own little fusion drinks. I had a lemonade yesterday with mango ice cubes. I've never had mango ice cubes in my life. It was amazing, right? So
Nice.
this program really helps younger students with money skills, and that's something we don't really teach at a K through 12 level.
Which is, I have a whole conspiracy theory on that. But
Why? Tell me.
No.
No? I think
I tell myself I don't want my conspiracy theories to enter into the podcast, but I will tell you.
Okay.
It's a way to keep people. I mean, it's not really that far fetched. It's just whether it's teaching students about interest rates and what they mean, how to navigate their own personal finance, how to like look at APRs and how to buy a home. There's a real common sense part of the curriculum that no matter how much people push, never gets put in there. And that has to be by design because there's no other explanation for it. It's straight up math. It's life skills. It's everything that you should know going out of high school isn't in there. And it never will be because honestly, there's, I mean, my only thought is there's a reason to keep people
ignorant,
dumb, and broke.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's like when I went to when I graduated high school, I went to Long Beach City College. First thing I saw when I got in the campus was a credit card, like get a credit card, like give us your application. And I did it. I didn't really know much about APRs or what that meant. It was through the roof. I went into crazy debt, had to do like a consolidation thing, like, and just ruined my credit, like in my, like before I was even 20.
Yeah.
Like there's things that we need to teach our kids before they get out of high school, before they start making financial decisions that will affect the next 10 years of their life,
100%.
Pushing home ownership further down the line and making just financial independence and success so much, less likely.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the state of California passed something that allows a high school senior to either choose regular, boring economics, right?
Yeah.
Or financial literacy.
Yeah, there was something like that. I saw our class offerings, and we do it right now too. There should be more of that, right? And
Absolutely.
But see, I'm on the page of it shouldn't be optional, right? Because like I think that's, you said it earlier, like, our job is to, do what we know kids need.
What's best for them.
Yeah, and make them successful. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Like
I feel the same way about like they don't even do home ec anymore. Like something as simple as like, hey, where does this little fork go?
Fun fact. Did you know that with a social science teaching credential you can teach home ec?
Did not know that.
Isn't that right? What is social science? I guess it's a social science, right? Cooking.
I guess.
Yeah.
Do they still offer the program called Success? At least that's what it was called at Mayfair when I was at Mayfair. It was a combination of learning books on how to keep your books with money financially, and just different, kind of like a home ec, but more real life situations. Do you know if that's still available? Is that still a thing?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But again,
Extremely useful when I was young.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like when I look back on like the courses that really helped me, it was like typing, which was fun because it was so competitive. It was like you can type more per minute. But home ec, I like learned a lot, and I still like use it. And then later on, like business, finance, and accounting.
Yeah.
Like those are things that why are we waiting till college for to teach that stuff? Like that's a lot of kids. Like I was out on my own when I turned 18, so I was like I could have really used some accounting, knowledge.
Yeah.
But those things should be mandatory, 100%.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, man, it's huge. It's not really a conspiracy theory. It's more of an observation with like a call to action.
But I mean, like what I told him is I wish that I had a teacher when I was a senior that taught me these things.
Right.
Because I graduated high school not knowing these things.
Yeah.
My parents, told me a little bit, but if I had a teacher that told me what a certificate of deposit was and what compound interest is and what stocks are,
Yeah.
that would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Just teaching kids like this is what when you have a minimum payment on a credit card, this is what you're really paying. Like what it means to pay principal, what it means to pay interest, and like the situation you're going to find yourself in. I mean, for me, like it was literally like those decisions just based off of ignorance and necessity, but ignorance mainly, like that pushed home ownership down the line further than it had to be. If I would have just known like what these concepts were and how it was going to affect me, or even just knowing like that just because somebody calls you on the phone and says, hey, I can get your debt down this much if you make this payment, and you don't realize like what the importance of a credit score. Most kids don't know the importance of credit score, and I didn't realize it was gonna affect. When I went on a date with my wife's a few years older than me. She's more mature, she's smarter than I am in so many ways, but I remember I told her, I was like, hey, like because she was like just more, she was in a different place than I was. Like I was like doing personal training, trying to like make ends meet, and like going to college, and I was like really insecure about like my credit score, right? I was just like, my credit score is like, and I was working so hard to get it up, and I remember telling her, I was like, hey, we need to have a talk. And she's like, oh shit, like all right. I was like, no. So we sit down. I'm like all stressed out because I'm about to tell her, hey, I have a low credit score. Just want to put that on the table if you're still interested in continuing this. And she laughed so hard when I told her.
Really?
Yeah, because she didn't like, she like was just like thought I was going to tell her like I have 5 babies or something, and we'll still joke about it today. Yeah. Like if I tell like, it's like, hey, I have something we need to talk about. She's like, oh, is it your credit score again? It's, but I remember just feeling like so relieved that I told her, because it was something that where I saw myself as somebody who was like, making right decisions and doing my best. But like those decisions, like I feel bad for kids that don't have the financial literacy when they get out of high school, because that score to me like became part of my identity, where I felt less than. I felt like I had less opportunity, less access, less options on my table when I'm trying to make success happen. And I feel bad for like kids that like they just need to know.
Yeah. I mean, I get seniors that have jobs at work and they keep their money in under their mattress like they used to back in the day. Yeah. It's like you got to put it in high yield savings or something like that. Just keep it, keep hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars in your mattress. Try and grow it. You want to beat inflation.
Right. That's why I keep all my Bitcoin in my mattress.
That's the place to keep it.
As an economic teacher, Diego, any stocks? Any hints on stocks that you can lay down right now? What do you got?
Wait, you having problems, dude? You've been hitting the casino again? You trying to make a quick buck? What's going on right now? What is happening right now?
I just need a quick buck. That's
you already said he's a history teacher. And you're like,
economics, too.
Oh, jeez.
I heard American Eagle stock's doing pretty well right now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
What's American Eagle?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Have
Sweeney?
you seen the way he dresses? He doesn't know what American Eagle is.
I'm gonna get you a pair of American Eagle jeans.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
I'm all about Sam's Club.
Got the best jeans over there. Wow.
Oh man.
So, let me see. How do I want? I'm gonna cut all this up so I can
Yeah, for sure.
take a beat.
I mean, we took a long tangent.
yeah,
'cause
we
were talking
were-
about Lemonade Day, but
Right.
yeah.
So I want to wrap it with. Okay. All right. So, what is your advice, like your golden nugget for students, particularly seniors who will be, going into adulthood?
Oh man, that is a great question. I would say, because we're living in it's a little harder now than it was a few years ago, right, with everything going on. But I would tell them, stay on the road, right? Metaphorically, stay on the road. Don't get distracted, right? Have a long-term goal or goals. Have a few short-term goals, right? But always keep those in mind, and don't let anyone or anything try and stop you from achieving that long-term goal. Yeah. And it's going to take time. Things don't happen overnight, right? Things don't happen overnight. But just be consistent, be patient, and you'll get there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's one thing for public education that you feel needs to be better? Like, what needs to change in public education?
I would say the one thing we need to, we talk a lot about AI, right? That was huge. But I think a lot of school districts are already doing this, is have open dialogue and communication with parents, with the families of these kids, of these students. I think that is the biggest thing.
What does that look like?
I think it looks like, so I mean, you can talk about parent portals and
Yeah.
emails and home messages and calls all you want. But I think it's to the point where don't make, and a lot of this can fall on the teachers, don't make it seem as if the parents of your students are strangers, because these kids are going home and they talk about you, right? Oh, today I learned this, today I learned that. How do I know that? Because they do that and they've told me this, right? So don't make it seem as if these parents are strangers. I'll be honest, I don't have the answer, the one golden answer to, how does that look like, but keep these parents in the loop. And hopefully, I hope, some parents are just so busy, they have things going on, they're working 2 jobs, this and that. But don't make it seem as if some parents don't care. Many parents do care.
Yeah.
And keep them in the loop.
Yeah, I think maybe that's not a fair question. What does it look like? 'Cause that's such a task thing, and that how it looks changes with time, with technology and everything.
Yeah.
I guess like the important note is, what does that feel like, right?
Yeah.
And I think it feels like parents feeling like they're a partner in their kids' education,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's a symptom of recent times where part of it, I think, national narrative and political, but parents and teachers have been put against each other so much. And I think that kids I think instinctively see benefit in that. If you keep, especially students that might have a lot of instances where parents and teachers need to interact, it's easy to pit them against each other in a climate in which that trust has been diminished over the recent decade, right?
I agree. I also wanted to say that, for a student to be successful, I also think they obviously have to love their teacher, right? And I know my students, like me, they learn in an environment where they want to learn, right? They gotta like the teacher, they gotta like the classroom.
Learning is a choice.
Learning, yeah. Motivation.
What do you find is your best way to motivate a student? Is there anything in particular that you do?
As a teacher, you got to make yourself look human, right? Hey guys, I messed up today. I woke up so drained, guys, today. All right, I have a headache, or to make yourself more of a human.
That's hard, right?
It is hard
because there's got to be that part of like, if you do it too much, then like I've seen it, just in growing up, like the teacher like tried to relate so much where you almost became like you wanted to be a friend almost. It's kind of like parenting, It's like, hey, I'm here with you, but I'm still the teacher. And so like demanding, like commanding respect while still not, because I think kids are good at, and I say kids loosely, right? Because especially if you're dealing with seniors, most of them look like, they look like more like a man than I do most of the time. I mean, dude, they get big, dude. These kids are big. But the idea of commanding the respect, because they pick up on inauthentic behavior very fast.
Yeah.
And you can't be phony. You got it. Like and I think maybe more this generation than ever, like they value authenticity. And so you have to be authentically, you have to command, you have to be respectable, right?
I think because most of my students are like 17, 18. So I'm 26. I can't say I feel like a dad at times, but I do feel like an older brother.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of like mentoring and say, hey, man, don't say that to her. Like, that's not how you talk.
Right.
To a girl, some things like that.
Right.
I feel like an older brother.
Yeah, like coming across as a mentor rather than somebody who's judging them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude. Well, I say this when I talk to teachers all the time. Better you than me, because I don't know how you do it. It's the most important job, and we need good teachers. And
100%.
I appreciate what you do, man.
Yeah, teachers. We're like sometimes we're psychiatrists, sometimes we're mentors, parents, brothers, sisters. Obviously, we teach. We're a bag of tricks.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Last question. I never know when to end on a good note. But one more question. Yeah. What's one interesting fact about Lakewood that nobody knows?
One interesting fact about Lakewood nobody knows. Did you know, let me fix this. Did you know that our temperature in the city, on average, is 1 to 2 degrees cooler than surrounding cities? Because of all the trees we have?
Did not know that.
That's false. I just made that up.
Oh, shit, man. I'm so gullible.
You're not the only one that has jokes.
Jeez. That wasn't, you just lied.
You fell for it, though. You fell for it.
I mean, you lied.
Did it sound?
Just lied.
Did it sound believable?
No,
it sounded believable.
I believed it.
I mean,
I was like,
well, I mean, is it really a lie? Because if you're standing in the shade,
I'm sure it is cooler.
I bet you, like, if you were to like spot test everything, if an area with more shade would be. Now I'm just trying to help you out with your lies, so I don't feel gullible.
Oh no, you walk down a park, it's definitely.
I'm telling everyone now.
You know what?
As long as you got that dad joke.
Yeah,
as long as
the
you got
dad
my
joke's in
joke.
there.
Yeah.
I was setting you up for the mayor one because he keeps pulling it up on the screen, so I'm trying to help him out. I'm like, okay, I'll cut it right here. All right, Jay, do you have any interesting facts about Lakewood?
Yeah, we're 2 degrees cooler than any other surrounding city.
Will you take it off this screen?
American Eagle?
I'm going to ask you the question again.
He's buying jeans.
Oh, Jesus. No, because you had the interesting fact about the
what I have
about the mayor, like the youngest mayor ever.
Oh yeah, where'd it go?
Jeez, come on, keep up.
Oh yeah, what was his name again?
Dan something.
Yeah, Dan.
Or were you the one who said that? No, it was Jay,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, he said that. It was like Dan something.
Dan Brenston.
Yeah, all right. Here, I'll ask you the question again. What screen are you on right now?
I'm pulling it up.
Note to self: I'm gonna have to have like a monitor to see what it is you're actually doing over there next time.
He was googling dachshunds. I saw the history.
No, that was me because I'm getting a dog tomorrow. It's a big deal.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've never had a dog. I grew up in apartments. We weren't allowed to have pets.
Yeah.
So it was just never a thing.
Yeah.
But with the yard and the girls, it feels right. We went to 3 different pounds yesterday.
Oh, that's amazing.
Narrowed it down to 2 little pups. So tomorrow, I guess we're gonna go. The lady was actually walking out with. She was like, she was gonna get this one. But then she saw that we were asking about it at the front. She's like, hey, so I was about to go but if you want, so we just have to be there like first thing tomorrow, and then we'll get a new doggy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Every dog I've had, I've pretty much rescued.
Yeah.
My first dog, we found on the freeway. I think the 605, I think.
Really?
It was on the freeway.
Wow.
She was on there.
I was really like just not being. I'm just not a dog person. I don't know if that's a weird thing to say. I've just convinced myself I'm not. But there's always been like that part of me that feels like I want to be a dog. And so yeah, I'm gonna take the leap. I'm gonna see how it all turns out. I've had friends try to talk me out of it. But yeah, no.
I say you get 2.
Yeah, you would.
I do have 2. Yeah, brother and sister.
You gotta get
They
2.
keep each other company when you're not home.
Don't feed it, dude.
No,
so
it's 2.
Jay's
You gotta
my
get
neighbor,
this.
and he's been pushing for it. You know, but he doesn't. I can hear his dogs from across the street. They're loud, very loud.
My dogs are loud too,
And
but
I'm really only getting dogs so I can just
it's good for security.
make them loud
Yeah,
for
compete.
you.
Get a bigger one.
I thought about getting the German. There was 2 beautiful German shepherds,
I bet.
dude, and they were great. But everybody has an opinion on dogs, and I even put out a survey online, like, "Hey, tell me," because I want to know. And do people are like they have like very like concise like thoughts on which type of dog you should get. But in my head, I'm like, okay, that's a good starting point, and maybe I'm just naive. But I do feel like it really depends on the dog.
Yeah.
Like if you get that type of dog, it's gonna do this, this, and this. I'm like, all right, well, maybe, yeah.
Speaking
Likely.
of German shepherds, I could be wrong, but I think during World War II they almost were extinct.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
they were heavily endangered. I know that.
So Jay, you got an interesting fact about Lakewood before we wrap?
I can't find the page I found earlier.
You could just say it with your mouth.
Okay,
you
well,
know?
it was Dan Branstein, I believe, was the youngest. Am I mute? No, okay. Youngest mayor on history for Lakewood at the age of 22.
22, youngest mayor of
Youngest mayor.
Lakewood.
And I believe he was elected at the age of like 19. I
Really?
just put myself on the camera. But yeah, it was the age of 19, I believe. He ran a campaign out of his garage, basically.
Never heard his name.
What year was this, Jay?
What'd they say, 72? Hold on.
Oh yeah, it looks like
Beginning
a
in
special
19
election.
Yeah, 76
1970.
term of office changed for 2 years to 1 year. 77 maybe? I think it was like right when he was out of high school or in high school.
Wow, that's
senior
not even
year.
that long ago.
No.
I mean, because I'm old.
I
It
saw
feels like
that
no
it
one.
was, I want to say I read it in the Lakewood paper, like the Lakewood Gazette.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
where I remember hearing about this fella. I think this is the guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thanks for looking it up.
No problem.
You did a great job today, man.
Oh,
Really proud of you.
can I get a hug later?
Yep. What?
No, hug.
Oh, hug. Yeah, we'll hug it. We'll hug it out.
And make sure you buy those jeans.
Oh,
Yeah,
American Eagle.
I know, dude.
Wait, go back.
Well, Jay doesn't know.
On sale.
We could
I
see.
mean, I thought I was getting a free pair of jeans.
Yeah,
The sale
no.
ends in 11 hours. You got to hurry up.
Yeah. No, what Jay didn't know is like we could see him shopping online while we were doing the podcast the whole time. So, yeah. No, they'll look great on you, dude. I don't know why you're deciding to buy them now. That's kind of suspicious, but it's fine.
Well, I
It's
mean,
fine.
is this the
Oh.
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah,
You look-
I guess I didn't even know.
Am I gonna look like that?
Similar.
I could see
I
it.
don't.
I can see it.
I don't.
Do they-
Oh,
do
yeah,
they-
like
do they-
all jean top, jean bottoms. Oh yeah, count me in.
You
Yeah.
ever like see like styles come back? Like everything comes back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Our
Everything.
my
It's all cyclical.
yeah, the big
yeah.
baggy
There you go.
jeans.
There you
and
go.
all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, bell bottoms. They
Yeah.
came
Yeah,
back.
they're coming back.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like what I don't like, and I never will, is like the ripped look. I feel like it's like it's totally phony. Like the only reason it became cool once upon a time was because they were like worn and they were like authentic, you know. But now it's like you just buy them ripped.
I'll throw mine away.
That's crazy.
I throw mine away too.
Yeah. Or you rip them all the way and now you have some really nice short shorts. You know. All right, we'll end it there. Diego, thank you for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Glad
it.
we were able to make it happen, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing with the community and in the classroom. Big
Ditto.
things to come.
Of course, same here. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, that's our episode of Brick by Brick. We'll catch you in the next one.
Brick by brick.
That was awesome.